Dan Schinder here at the NAMM Show 2016 with Jonathan Moffett Jr. Again, how are you, Jonathan?
I'm doing really good. It's really exciting to be here again. Every year is exciting. I get to see my old friends, new friends, and see what the industry is about in drumming and the new concepts on drumming and equipment and electronics and studio stuff. We're into all of that kind of stuff. Everything is about music, everything about rhythm.
Isn't it amazing how much stuff comes out just from even one show to the next, 1 year to the next?
That's because mind's always thinking.
Yeah.
You got the tinkerers always inventing new things or refabricating things, which is good. So the industry never stays the same and stagnant. You always got something new coming out, new approach or improvement on something they've already done. And I like it because it keeps us coming to the NAMM Show.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned you're still with Cameo.
Yep, still hitting the funk with Cameo.
Yeah.
And we got dates this year. I'm going to New Orleans next week, to my hometown, New Orleans, to play for the Mardi Gras balls. So I'm busy doing dates with Cameo right now.
Great. What else do you have on the horizon? Are you writing, recording, producing?
I'm always writing. I have about 200 songs in the works. I'm trying to finish up, get some of those things out there.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a book project, a coffee table book, trying to get that happening. I'm formulating concepts for drum videos for myself. I've never done a drum video, but I want to do my own drum videos and stuff like that, and let segments of lessons and start my website with a fan base website where they can tune in.
That would be great. Can you tell us about the book?
The book will be a overview of my life, my career, my life story, how it started in drumming, and then my growth through the industry, and how my very, very special, magical, it's like a miracle, miraculous connection with Michael. How I got with Michael is a real, true miracle. Your hair on your arms will stand up when you hear how miraculously he and I came together. We were meant to be together. And then, of course, through the stages with all the other people, Elton John, George Michael, Stevie Wonder, Janet Jackson, Madonna, and how all of those things happen. So I'll take a step-by-step look through that. It'll be a pictorial, a lot of pictures. There'll be video. I got archival wealth of video information from throughout my career, my travels and concerts, rehearsals. So I got to go through all these, maybe a year's worth of video footage to edit through.
Right.
Pick out the best things. So there'll be a DVD in the book as well as print material.
Great. Out of all those wonderful artists that you mentioned, can you think for a moment, what is the one quote from one of those artists that someone gave you as far as advice that really just struck you the most and really stuck with you in the biggest way?
It was Michael Jackson, of course, the king of pop, the king of entertainment. He told me when I first joined him, he said, Foot, always, whatever you do, always make it bigger than life. It's got to be bigger than life. So bring the people in to draw them into you. Whatever you do, don't do it normal. Don't do it standard. Don't do it minuscule. It's got to be bigger than life. And that's what he did with his life and his career. He is bigger than life.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I mean, you followed that advice. If you look at Sugarfoot's playing and your drum kits, the ingenuity that's gone into the unique designs of your kits, you followed that advice.
Yeah, I started drawing. I started drawing before I was drumming. I started drawing at 4 years old, designing stuff, drawing on the wall, catching whippings for it. But I started drumming at 6. So I majored in art in school, and I wanted to be an interior designer or architect. But I bring my artwork. I used to draw Marvel comics, so I got into that futuristic look-up kind of things. So I draw all my rack systems out. My whole drum sets, I designed them myself. And I brought the art along with my drumming craft to make it one union of manufacturing and performance. So that's why my kits look unique and individual, because my art background.
Yeah. Last question is a drum gear question.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of drummers, if they see more than 2 bass drums, they're confused, like, well, how are you going to play that if you only have 2 feet? But don't you all have more toms than you have the amount of hands? I mean, it's kind of the same thing. So my question is, how do you work with your different bass drums? Do you tune them differently? Do you mute them differently? Do you use one particular for a certain type of song? Or do you use them through the 3 or 8 of them, however many you have on that setup, throughout a piece, or does it just vary?
I have 2 different setups of that concept, and I call it melodic kicks. And now I'm changing my term to, if it's 3 bass drums, I call it B3. Bass drum B, and 3 bass drums. And if I'm using 5 bass drums, I just B5s. So B3 is associated with B3 organ, right? That's my other favorite sounding instrument. My concept on the melodic kick drums is stemmed and based on B3 organ bass pedals on a bass, and the organ player plays the bass with his feet.
Right.
I was a little boy in my father's church, Baptist church, and I used to lay down on the floor right next to the B3 organ and the Leslie and hear them whirling, but I'd watch his feet moving around playing all these notes. So at some point in the 80s, I got the concept, boy, it'd be fantastic if I could translate that into drumming. The same thing with various sizes, bass drums and pitches, like DW tuned their shells to pitches and notes. So I got the concept that if I got a concept to have multiple bass drums with linkage that DW makes the proper tools that make that happen, I can play like the B3 organist does with the bass parts and spread it out. It'll help me be more dynamic with the beat because you got the different ranges of sonics and the pitches of the bass drums. And it'd be melodic because of the different notes, because of the size of the bass drum.
Right.
You tune them according to this size, and I can, by myself, play a song. I can be melodic like a keyboard player can be.
Right.
You know, I can play phrases between his hands and the feet, and even on just the feet, I can play melodic phrases with just the bass drums. And that was the concept, and I brought it forth. And in any beat that I'm playing, like Jam with Michael, I spread the pattern of the beat in between the bass drums. You got the dynamics of the pitches that makes it even more three-dimensional. And that's my concept, and my foot is working back and forth across the pedals according to which note I want to play in a melodic scale. So it's really a true concept behind it, and being musical, bringing the drummer to the forefront of being a musician. Kill that joke of drummers about just the timing. I'm killing that.
Yeah.
We are musicians.
Yeah.
And in this context of playing and setup, we can prove that we are musicians. We understand melody, we understand phrasing, we understand songwriting. I'm writing songs on my drums when I play that setup a kit, either the B3 or the B5. I'm a songwriter by myself.
And a similar advice comes from a previous interview we've done with Ian Pace of Deep Purple, and Ian Pace reminds us all that you're a musician first and a drummer second.
Yes, you're a rhythmist, you're a speaker to souls. Yeah. Nothing on stage speaks to people's souls and spirits like the rhythm that the drummer plays.
It's in us.
So it's the first form of communication. Yeah. It's a conversation between spirits and souls. I can play my drums from here on stage, and the foremost reaches of the stadium, I can make somebody move their neck, make them tap their feet, make them move their shoulders, move their body without laying my hands physically on them. Yeah. That's power. Yeah. That's spiritual. And it's a beautiful thing. Yep. And it's a wonderful thing, and I've been blessed to be able to do that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us again. Pleasure, really appreciate it. Thank you all for joining myself and Jonathan Sugarfit Moffett Jr. here on DrumTalkTV.com at the NAMM Show 2016. Spread the love of rhythm always.